The morning it happened, I was halfway through my first sip of coffee when I heard this deep rumbling noise outside my window. It wasn't thunder, it was the kind of sound you hear when someone's about to do something incredibly stupid. And sure enough, when I looked out there, she was Karen, our self-appointed queen of the HOA, wearing her signature bright pink visor, a clipboard tucked under her arm, standing next to what looked like a tow truck resurrected straight from a junkyard. No logo, no license plate, just a guy in flip-flops holding a sandwich and pretending he knew what he was doing. At first I thought it had to be a joke, but then the guy started hooking up my car, my old beat-up Mustang that I'd spent 3 years restoring piece by piece. I ran outside so fast I nearly tripped over my coffee mug. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" I yelled. Karen turned to me like she was about to deliver a TED Talk on authority. "This vehicle is in violation of HOA bylaws," she said, flipping through her clipboard dramatically. Section 12B, no overnight parking on the street. I stared at her. I'd read that manual front to back. Section 12B was about holiday decorations, not cars. "Are you serious right now?" I asked. The guy with the tow truck shrugged. "Lady said to tow it." "Lady," I repeated. "She's not even in charge of anything." Karen gasped, like I'd committed treason. "I am the acting head of the parking committee," she declared proudly. I later found out that committee didn't even exist. She just printed herself a badge. That's when I noticed something odd. No company name, no uniform, just a half-painted logo that said Easy Tow on the truck door. "Where's your permit?" I asked the guy. "Who are you contracted through?" He looked me dead in the eye and said, "I'm kind of freelance." Freelance. Like towing cars was an art project, so I pulled out my phone and hit record. "Okay, Karen," I said, "if this is legal, you won't mind if I call the police to confirm, right?" For the first time, her smug little grin faltered. "Oh, that's not necessary," she stammered. "We already cleared it." "With who?" I asked. "The board," she said. "Cool," I replied. "I'm on the board." Her face turned bright red. The tow guy froze. "Ma'am," he muttered to Karen, "you didn't say he was the owner. What did you think I was?" I shot back. "I don't know," he said. "You were parked kind of crooked." By now my neighbor Dave came out in his pajamas holding a bowl of cereal. "Bro," he said, "are you getting towed on a Sunday?" Apparently I replied by the neighborhood dictator and her sidekick. Karen puffed up her chest. "This is for the good of the community. Rules are rules." Then the rule says, I countered, every towing company needs a license number displayed. Yours doesn't. So unless this guy's towing my car to heaven, you're about to be in a lot of trouble. The guy froze mid-crank. Karen tried to whisper something to him, but I was already calling the police. "Hi," I said into the phone, "my car's being stolen by a fake tow truck and my HOA neighbor is cheering him on." The operator actually paused. "Did you say fake tow truck?" By the time the patrol car showed up, half the neighborhood was outside watching. The officer took one look at the truck and said, "Ma'am, this vehicle isn't registered as a towing company." Karen's jaw dropped. "That can't be right," she said. "He told me he was professional." The officer looked at the guy who was sweating bullets. "Sir, do you have any credentials?" I got a wrench. Turns out he was just a lawnmower mechanic Karen found on Facebook Marketplace. She'd hired him for $50 to enforce HOA parking laws. The cop gave him a warning, but Karen got hit with a formal citation for attempted vehicle theft. She tried arguing, which only made it worse. As the officer walked away, he told me, "Maybe park in your driveway for now. Keep you safe from creative enforcement." I laughed. "Lesson learned, officer." Karen stood there trembling, still clutching her useless clipboard. "This isn't over," she hissed. "Oh, I'm counting on it," I said, smiling. Because what she didn't know was that I had the whole thing on video. The next morning, that video was all over our neighborhood Facebook group. I titled it, "HOA Karen tries to tow my car with a fake tow truck. Wait for the police reaction." Within an hour, the comments were blowing up. "She did that to me, too." "She tried to tow my husband's work van last year. Turns out this wasn't her first towing adventure. It was her hobby." The video went viral. Reddit, TikTok, local Facebook pages. Karen became infamous overnight, and honestly, it was glorious, until she showed up at my door. I opened it to find her standing there with a frozen smile that looked stapled to her face. "We need to talk," she said sweetly. "About the video." "Oh, you mean the one where you tried to steal my car?" I asked. Her smile twitched. "It was a misunderstanding. You're spreading misinformation. The HOA board has requested you remove it." "Funny," I said. "I'm on the board and I don't remember requesting that." She blinked, caught off guard. "Well, we had an emergency meeting without you." "In the imaginary clubhouse again?" I asked. Her patience snapped. "Listen here, smart guy. That video makes me look bad. You mean the video of you doing the bad thing I shot back?" Her face went red. "If you don't delete it, I'll take legal action." "Fantastic," I said, lifting my phone. "Could you repeat that for the camera?" That's when she realized the neighborhood had chosen sides and she wasn't on the winning team. She stormed off muttering about defamation and lawyers while 3 kids on bikes rode past yelling, "Fake tow truck." Karen. That night I sat on my porch scrolling through comments. People were laughing, cheering me on, but a small part of me wondered if I'd gone too far. Maybe I should have just let it go. Maybe I was making it worse. For a moment I actually considered deleting the video, until an email popped up. It was from a local news reporter. "We'd like to feature your story about HOA abuse and fake enforcement scams." And just like that, my doubt vanished. A few days later, a news van pulled into the neighborhood. Cameras, microphones, neighbors pretending to garden but really just waiting for the show. Karen saw the cameras and bolted into her house like a raccoon caught in daylight. The reporter interviewed me right in front of my car. "So your neighbor hired a fake tow truck to remove your vehicle?" "Yep," I said. "She even had a clipboard. Looked official if you squint and have 0 brain cells." The cameraman nearly lost it laughing. That night the segment aired on the 6 o'clock news. The headline read, "HOA chair hires fake tow truck to enforce imaginary rule." They even played the part where the cop cited her. I laughed so hard I spilled popcorn everywhere. The next morning the HOA inbox exploded. Complaints, memes. Even our real HOA president, who'd been conveniently on vacation during the whole mess, called an emergency meeting. When I walked in, the air was thick. Karen sat there, arms crossed, trying to look dignified. Karen, the president, said, "We've verified there is no such position as parking committee chair." Karen slammed her hands on the table. "I was just trying to keep our neighborhood clean." I leaned back. By hiring a guy who tows cars with a sandwich and a smile, the room went silent. Then someone snorted and suddenly the entire board was laughing. Karen's face turned crimson. "This isn't funny," she shouted. "Oh, it's hilarious," I said. "You're a community icon now." That's when the president raised his hand. "Karen, you are suspended from all HOA activities effective immediately." The silence that followed was deafening. Karen looked around waiting for someone to defend her. No one did, not even her friend Janet. Karen stormed out yelling, "You'll all regret this." I leaned toward the president and whispered, "She says that like it's a Marvel post-credit scene." He chuckled. "Let's just hope she doesn't start her own HOA. If only we knew." A week later, things were peaceful again. No fake tickets, no inspections, no Karen. Until a flyer showed up in everyone's mailbox. Bold letters, fancy seal. "Welcome to the new and improved Neighborhood Alliance, led by Chairwoman Karen." She'd actually done it. She created her own fake HOA, charged $50 to join payment sent directly to her Venmo. By noon, the group chat was on fire. "Bro, she's starting Karen 2.0. Does it come with a complimentary lawsuit?" I decided to investigate. Turns out she actually filed her organization as a nonprofit using her home address and listed her cat, Mr. Whiskers, as the treasurer. I'm not kidding. I called the county office, and the woman on the phone started laughing before I even finished explaining. "Sir, this isn't valid. She didn't even pay the incorporation fee." So naturally, I sent everything to the same news reporter. 2 days later, local woman creates rival HOA lists cat as treasurer. That was it. Karen's empire collapsed again. People printed T-shirts that said, "Mr. Whiskers for Treasurer." Even the real HOA couldn't stop laughing. But Karen, she wasn't laughing. She marched down my driveway, shaking with fury. "This is harassment," she screamed. "You ruined my reputation again." "No, Karen," I said calmly. "You ruined it yourself twice." That night, a white van parked outside my house. After the fake tow truck incident, I'm a little sensitive to unmarked vehicles. Two guys stepped out wearing shirts that said Neighborhood Improvement Services. They started putting up a giant wooden sign in my yard. "Welcome to the Alliance neighborhood. Rules enforced daily." I stepped outside. "Hey, who sent you?" One guy said, "Some lady named Karen paid us cash." I grinned. "Perfect. Mind if I take a picture first?" 10 minutes later, our HOA president and 2 board members showed up. They called county code enforcement. When the officer arrived, Karen came storming out. "You can't take that down. It's private property." The officer handed her papers. "Ma'am, this isn't a registered organization. You're facing fines for fraudulent solicitation." The crowd laughed. Phones out, cameras rolling. The sign came down. Karen stood there frozen, realizing the internet was about to eat her alive again. As I walked past her, I couldn't resist. "Hey Karen," I said, "if you ever need a treasurer for your next fake HOA, I hear Mr. Whiskers is still available." She screamed a high-pitched sound that could have powered the whole block. That night I uploaded the sequel. HOA Karen starts her own fake HOA and gets shut down again. Within hours it was trending. People called it the Karen Cinematic Universe. And as I scrolled through the comments, one stuck out. "The neighborhood doesn't need a Karen, it needs a camera crew." Honestly, they weren't wrong, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that some people crave power so badly they'll invent rules just to feel important. But the moment you stand your ground, record the truth, and refuse to be bullied, well, that's when real justice begins.